I'm James Gilmartin. I am a part-time farmer, like a lot of people in this area of North Leitrim. I live just outside Manor Hamilton with my wife Joanne and 3 young kids. I farm in partnership with my dad Jimmy. The farm would be a traditional suckler sheep farm. Acres wise, we have about 35 hectares of land that we farm. There is a selection of crossbred cows, mainly Limousin, some shorthorn, some cemental breeding, but we're trying to bring the breeds back to more native breeds. Farm is quite typical of the area. It's got some what would be called better quality land, but also some a lot rougher grazing land as well. There's a huge different amount of biodiversity on the farm. To the best of my knowledge, I'm the 7th generation looking up at Bembo Mountain here. And we've been farming it as sensitively as has been in that time. You can see here with some of this year's weanling calves. Well, they're not weanless just yet, but they're predominantly shorthorn. So we brought in some AI from Canada for specific traits. So the front one there is the Rony colour one, and the one behind her there that's coming now, they're both out of a Canadian bull. Humma. We also have some speckled park calves, which are the white wee guys there. They're a composite breed of white park, a native English breed, Angus and shorthorn. So the 3 of them, and they're pole breed, which is very good for organic as well, which means they don't have horns. This is a traditional hay meadow. It's part of one of the environmental schemes that I'm in at Gloss, and it is very well minded. It gets left in the middle of April and it's not grazed at all. It gets no fertiliser, it gets no inputs of any kind, and it cannot be cut until the 1st of July minimum to allow all the flowers to all the grasses and all the plants that would flower in here to flower. Ideally, if you get past the 1st of July, all the better, but again, as farmers in this part of the world, it'll be weather permitting. You have a huge variety of plants in here. You've got orchids, meadow sweet, ragged robin, lots of different types of clover, as you can see there, some lots of white clover, some of your regular grasses that will be more common, timothy and cocksfoot and the like. And it's just, I mean, it's really biodiverse. Again, if you look at the different types of butterflies and invertebrates that are flying about, that's a really good indicator of what's here. When it comes to harvesting, of course, you also need to, you cut it and then you make sure you shake it twice, which spreads the seed, and that will increase the biodiversity of them plants and the amount of different types of plants year on year. And it's really worked really well. The biggest resource you have in your farm is your soil. I mean, it's all about the soil now. And it's only in recent times people are becoming more aware of this. Like for a long time it was apply inputs, fertilizers, chemicals, and I'm not saying you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater and stop these things, but that was to improve intensification. The actual science is showing now that there's a huge symbiotic relationship between the bacteria and fungi and the plants, the roots of the plants, where the roots of the plants give out sugars that they photosynthesize through the day and kind of feeds the bacteria and fungi, and the bacteria and fungi then they do their part by unlocking minerals and giving it back to the plant, so it increases growth. So the minerals that you need, your nitrogen and calcium and your phosphorus and potassium, they're all in the soil. It's about just unlocking them to the best, you know, for most people. And with this kind of knowledge and how you can look after the soil better, I really feel that's where the future of farmers should be in Ireland going forward. One of the schemes that's on the farm I'm running that will be slightly different to your conventional farms in the area is the use of GPS collars to graze cattle on the commonage. These cattle are currently in their training phase with the collars. So basically the collars work on the basis of GPS. So they're solar powered first of all, so when they go in the animal they have a battery life of about 3 months. There's an app on your phone which you then create a boundary on the area that you want to keep the animals fenced in within, and there's a lot of stipulations and regulations on how you do that, all with the animal welfare in mind. So they're not just to be taken off the shelf and ran with, but notwithstanding, they're in their training phase at the moment, So they're just getting used to it. They're still a wee bit nervous because they have got a shock, and obviously the idea, they got it once and they don't get it again, and it's not a huge shock, it's just like off an electric fence. But why it works really well is you can use it on a big area like a commonage. You can section them into certain parts to actively improve the biodiversity and the ecosystem that's up there on the commonage, and they also get into great shape with it. Key thing which I talk about prior to even talking about farming would be what's called your holistic context, which is, I suppose, a way or fancy way of deciding what you're about. And once you decide what your holistic context is, it's very easy then to go forward and make your decision from that, from whatever you're going to do on the farm. So I guess a simple way for me, the holistic context would be in the 3 P's. It's basically people, profit and planet. And obviously all of them have to be in the positive to make a proper decision.